What's up, Magic nerds? Today we are taking a look at building Ureni, the Song Unending. Ureni is an 8-drop dragon that has protection from white and black. Upon entering the battlefield, we deal X damage as we choose amongst any number of creatures and planeswalkers, where X is the number of lands we control. Though at first glance the mana cost seems prohibitively high, the deck's strategy is already to have a boatload of lands, and Ureni isn't the only thing we have up our sleeve. We will be able to curve out nicely with lower drop dragons and spells, and our commander ends up being a nice option slightly later in the game to wipe the board. First, we have some really nice options for cards from the Dragonstorm set that are perfect for this deck. Encroaching Dragonstorm is an awesome ramp enchantment that grabs us 2 lands, and we can eventually cast it again once we have a low drop dragon enter the battlefield. This is extremely high synergy for our deck, as we get repeatable land tutor, and this will also pair nicely with Landfall cards as well. Temur Battlecrier is a new ramp card that reduces the cost of spells we cast by 1 colorless for each creature we control with power 4 or greater. We know we are going to have plenty of synergy with this effect, and eventually our spells are going to be extremely reduced in cost with this card. Bloomvine Regent has an awesome Omen ramp card attached to it, so we are getting some nice value in a slot that otherwise would have been a simple land tutor card. It will eventually also gain us some nice life and has a solid 4/5 flying body as well. Dragonback Assault is going to be a very nice high synergy card as well. It gives us a light board wipe option with a landfall trigger that can be an insane engine on its own, generating us 4/4 dragons every time a land enters. Dragonologist is an awesome dragon-centric card that grabs us an instant, sorcery, or dragon card from the top of our library, and also gives untapped dragons we control hexproof. This one is a must-have. Nature's Rhythm is an awesome creature tutor that can grab us whatever we need in a pinch and put it straight on the battlefield, and because we know we will have plenty of lands, casting this for higher amounts won't be an issue. Whirlwing Stormbrood, though it has a slightly underwhelming omen attached to it, will be a nice potential slot in to give our dragons and sorcery spells flash. That gives us a lot of flexibility to hold up mana for reaction spells while also letting us cast our dragons at instant speed, for surprise blockers or if we don't end up needing to counter anything on our opponent's turn. Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon is a new land to add to the repertoire of dragon-focused lands like Crucible and Haven of the Spirit Dragon. It has a very nice tutor effect that we can eventually sack the land for, late game. Our main focus of the deck is obvious and straightforward. Lands. Any and every ramp card you can think of will work here. We do want to focus the composition of our lands to compensate for many of these cards specifying basics, though there are also plenty that name subtypes like Forest, and do not need them to be basic. We don't want too many mana artifacts or mana dorks in this deck, as we want maximum synergy with our commander and landfall, but a couple won't hurt. Once we have some nice ramp going, let's extract extra value from those lands entering with landfall triggers. Lotus Cobra, Rampaging Baloths, and Tatiova Benthic Druid are practically must-includes in a build like this. Tireless Provisioner, AC Tyrant of Gyre Strait, and Avenger of Zendikar are all great options here as well. Let's double those triggers with Ancient Green Warden, Strionic Resonator, and Panharmonicon. The Panharmonicon and Strionic Resonator are also going to double our commander's trigger, which will come in clutch if the board states of our opponents is out of control. Next, now that we've got plenty of mana, let's start placing down some dragon threats. We have a plethora of options in these colors, and we'll have no trouble finding plenty of appropriate slot-ins here. Let's include plenty of 4, 5, and 6 drop dragons that will be easier to cast early game to make sure we have a nice board presence. Nesting Dragon and Akum Hellkite are some really nice landfall dragons for our deck. We will be making dragon eggs that eventually turn into 2/2s with a fire-breathing activated ability in case the board gets wiped. We will also be getting nice targeted ping damage with Akum Hellkite. Hellkite Courser gives us a chance to gain advantage early and run away with the game by bringing our commander out for 2 less mana. If we ramp multiple times early, we could have Ureni out as early as turn 4 or 5. We might want to actually hold back on casting Hellkite Courser until it makes sense to wipe our opponent's board. If we cast it too early, we may not end up dealing damage to any targets, though it is certainly favorable to get 10 commander damage through early. Mirim. Sentinel Worm is an awesome dragon in these colors and can even be an alternate commander for this deck. This card creates non-legendary copies of any non-token dragons that enter under our control. This effect is obviously very strong for our deck, and will be lethal for our opponents if left unchecked with our commander entering the battlefield. Atarka World Render is one of my favorite cards. Straight to the point. All attacking dragons we control get double strike. Even on its own, Atarka doles out massive amounts of damage because it has trample. Combined with our commander, we could be looking at 20 commander damage in one swing. Thunderbreak Regent, Thundermaw Hellkite, and Thundermane Dragon are some very nice lower drop dragon options to fill out our curve nicely and give us some great effects. Now that's a lot of thunder. Savage Ventmaw is a must include here. If it isn't removed, it produces 6 mana when it attacks, and we don't lose that mana until end of turn. We effectively move from 6 mana available to 12, an absolute insane value. This gives us breathing room to hold up counterspells after casting dragons. Leyline Tyrant is practically a must include as well. It lets us dump extra red mana and spend it on later turns. This is effectively a nice ramp spell early game, or a delayed fireball late game. If we continue to accumulate that mana, even if it is removed, we can spend all the mana as it dies to blast any target for direct damage. We've got some loose ends to tie up with this one. Let's make sure we've got card draw and haste. We have some great enchantment options to choose from here. Tamur Ascendancy is obviously a must-have. Dragon Tempest is very nice to have in any dragon build. We get haste and instant damage equal to the number of dragons we control. Rhythm of the Wild will be nice not only for the haste, but making our commander uncounterable. We have to account for this due to its high mana cost, and if it does get countered, we are looking at 10 mana for the next cast, or a Hellkite Courser. Garruk's Uprising is practically a must-include in this deck. We are getting card draw and trample on one card. We will have no problem casting Warstorm Surge, which will be insane value if left unchecked. Though it seems like an expensive mana cost, even after 2 or 3 dragons entering unchecked, this card will start to dole out game-changing amounts of damage. Our secret stars of the deck are Arcbon, Repercussion, and Tamur Battle Rage. Arcbon is an awesome combat trick to deal lots of damage to all creatures and players. For example, when our commander hits the battlefield, we could choose to deal 9 damage to a creature, and when we Arcbond it, it will wipe everything except Ureni, as well as dealing 9 to each player. Repercussion will be awesome with our commander. For all damage that we deal directly to their creatures, that damage will also hit their controller. Tamur Battle Rage is going to be an insane combat trick to keep in the back pocket for the right moment. We can wait until all blockers have been declared to surprise our opponent with a double strike hit, and we also get trample if we did end up getting blocked. What are your thoughts on this Ureni build? What cards would you include? Let me know in the comments. If you made it this far, type Dragon Tempest somewhere in your comment. Thanks for watching, Magic Nerds, and I'll see you next week.